Hello, welcome back everybody to BSG Annual 2022. We are raising money for Mind, as you heard in the super awesome panel that was just happening before this run. If you want to help us or if you want to donate, you can find the link below the stream or in the chat by typing !donate. But that is not exactly what you're here for. You're here to watch some super awesome speed runs. In this particular case, we got Siver next up here with Mario Tennis Power Tour. So Siver, stage is yours.
We good? All right, cool. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Mario Tennis Power Tour. This game has a really long intro cutscene, so I say we just get this on the road as fast as possible. So if you guys want to give me a countdown real quick.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, go!
All right. Let me just quickly create the file. All right. So, Mario Tennis Power Tour. This is a bit of an awkward game because, you know, if you know Mario Tennis, you might know the Mario Power Tennis from the GameCube or possibly Mario Tennis Aces from the Switch. And there's no Mario or anyone familiar inside here. Instead, we have these two random teenagers. These guys are called Max and Tina, and they're going to be our playable characters for this run. Specifically, I chose the boy because he's got a bit more power to his shots, but more on that later. But yeah, this is a bit of an oddball game because it's actually not just completely sports. It's actually got RPG elements to it. Kind of like the Game Boy Color game. This is basically the spiritual successor to that if you've ever played that. But yeah, don't worry, we get to see Mario later down the line. But yeah, basically the story is pretty simple. We're two young players that just started out at the Royal Tennis Academy. And our goal is obviously going to be the best, like no one ever was. So that is basically what this is all about. You might also like recognize the art style a bit. You know how the little emotion bubbles pop up over the characters' heads like that? If you've ever played the RPG Golden Sun, it's by the same team that made this, Camelot. They're actually involved in all the Mario Tennis games, but yeah, they really got to let their RPG prowess shine in this one. Yeah, like I said, this has a very long opening cutscene. We're going to be here for another, like, 4 or so minutes, and I see there you got some stuff to read out, so host, do the honors, if you will.
Yeah, I totally meant to read one of them at the start, but I totally forgot. So thanks. So we got 25 euros by number 1 saying, have a nice game day. Double point and a uppercase P. We also got 24 euros from Anonymous without a comment, but thank you very much for those the generous donation. We really appreciate that.
All right, so basically just to talk about the story a little right now, it's our first day at the Royal Tennis Academy, and we obviously want to like get to play tennis, but there's like a really weird thing going on right now. Basically, there's masked tennis players that have come into the Royal Tennis Academy and just randomly started challenging the coaches. And everyone's just like guessing around, like, why are they wearing masks? What's going on here? Not even, most of the coaches don't even know who these players are, but they pull out some really awesome special trick shots. So no one really knows what's happening here, but apparently the head coach, Alex, knows what's up, and these coaches over here are just kind of like plotting on, okay, how can we get information out of these guys? So yeah, I'm playing on the PAL version of the game. I could also play on the Japanese version, which would technically be faster. But, I mean, if you're a fast reader, you maybe can read along a little. So now our doubles partner, Tina, is like, you know, maybe we should go find Alex and see if we can get some information. Because, you know, we're new players, we're curious, obviously, what's happening here. So we're gonna go in a straight line. And here we meet Alex and the headmaster at the gates, and unfortunately we were just a little too slow. We missed the masked players. They've already said goodbye and left. Still got a bit more cutscene coming up here, so if you got some stuff to plug, now's a good time.
Awesome, thank you very much. Yeah, I'd like to also mention for the next game that is coming up after this, we got Lost Kingdom, and we have a naming incentive right there for the deck name. Currently, the only name in there is Ananas for a single euro. So with a minimum of 3 euros, which is our minimum total amount, you would obviously beat the 1 euro, and you could name the deck however you like. There is a 8-character maximum limit though to the name, and obviously it has to confine with all of our toss and stuff. So, but yeah, besides that, you can choose whatever you want. So if you want that, get your donations in before the next run after this one starts. So you have like an hour 20 left, including like setup time more or less. So
Yeah, something around that. I mean, I'm hoping to go underestimate, obviously.
Or alternatively, you can also just put more money towards the already existing name Ananas. So that is also a choice. And also for the next game, Nobelia, there's also a an incentive here. We got a category upgrade from 80% to 100% that is sitting for a goal of 100 euros, and we're currently at 33, so exactly a third of the way there. So if we could reach that at the start of that game, that would be super, super awesome. I'm pretty sure Grumpmeister would enjoy that one. So yeah, please get your donations in and help us meet these incentives here.
Yeah. All right, so basically, Alex didn't want to tell us who these masked players are, but he promised us that if we end up winning the Island Open tournament, he would promise to tell us who they are. And the Island Open tournament is basically going to be our main goal of this run. To do that, though, we have to qualify for it first, and for that we need to reach at least rank 2 in varsity. Little speed strat that I'm going to be doing right here, I'm going to be entering the seniors court, actually, even though it's not the class that we're going to be starting in, because there's 3 classes in the academy. It goes from juniors, seniors to varsity, from lowest to highest. So obviously, as a new player, we're going to start in juniors. But we're going to go to the seniors court first, have a little chat with the coach here. And what that does is it will skip the cutscene that we will get if we enter the seniors court for the first time after graduating from juniors, because this cutscene that we just had is significantly shorter. Because basically, whenever you enter the court for the first time, you get this little introductory talk with the coach or the players, depending on what class it is, just to basically like welcome you to the class. But now that we've done that already, we're not going to get a cutscene when we enter the seniors court for the first time after graduating. And yeah, you can see how long this cutscene here is. It's about the same for seniors. So the way going through the ranks works is if you start in a class, you're unranked. And there's 4 ranked players, so from rank 4 to rank 1. And we have to go in sequence, so if we are unranked, we have to challenge the rank 4 person, who's right here, Sophia. And also what I did there, I took a little detour to grab a hidden 1-up mushroom that allows me to upgrade my stats a little. More on the stats later. Let's actually play the game for now. So this is going to be our first match. The goal is basically to end all ball exchanges as quickly as possible. The best way to do that is if we're serving, we want to hit service aces, like this. And once the opponent is serving, we want to hit return winners, which is basically just immediately return the service and score a point with it. For this match, the strat is a bit awkward because we do not have stats to work with right now, so I'm going to be trying to do these weird dives from the side. There, it worked. It's not 100% reliable, but we don't need to hit them. It would just be nice if it happened. Nice. That can also happen if you just like shoot directly at the opponent and they don't react in time. They basically just like, the ball just basically hits them in the face and you get a point for it. But yeah, once we actually have our stats upgraded, we can do a bit more. Service aces will be relatively easy to hit. I'm going to try and hit nice service aces. You can see that little nice pop-up. That basically, you can do those by shooting the serve at the very apex of the ball toss. Nice. 3 return winners is actually pretty good. Can't complain about this at all. The AI can be a bit random, so there's no guarantee on like how many return winners you can actually get. All right, so that was our first match. We did that pretty well. The amount of experience that I get at the end of each match is actually determined by the amount of service aces, return winners, or smash winners that I get. Smash winners would just basically be when our opponent hits a very high shot and we can just like smash it with pretty high power back to them. So the more of those I get, the more experience I get. It's not mandatory to get a few return winners or smash winners. If I just hit 8 service aces, I get just enough EXP for 3 level ups, which is ideal. Now we're entering our second match with Mason. Here I'm going to employ a different strategy because now we actually have a bit of stats, so we can afford to do something different. Well, that was not a good serve, so great start. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step pretty close to the service line here, which is the little horizontal line on the side of our court. And then hit a shot with no spin. Most of the time diagonal, but I'm also going to switch it up a little depending on where our opponent is positioned. Like when he steps out long like that, I'm going to try and shoot it down the line, what's called a passing shot. Fortunately, that hasn't really worked out in our favor so far. It's still not a guaranteed way. There's never really a guaranteed strategy. But it's the strategy that nets the best results, basically. Mason in particular can be a bit of a rough matchup. There we got a return winner. Nice. And another one. Okay, 3 should be good. And the stat distribution that I do is very specific to always get the most upgrades out of it, and also depending on our upcoming matchups. So the main stats that I'm going to be upgrading are power and control for our primary stats, and serve and stroke for our secondary stats. So power is pretty self-explanatory. It makes your shots more powerful. Control allows you to hit shots deeper into the opponent court, so you can have better diagonal shots, which is going to be really important as well for scoring points later down the line. And serve and stroke are also pretty self-explanatory. Serve makes your serves more powerful, and strokes just your general strokes. So now we got Sasha, the rank 2 of the juniors class. She's generally the easiest match. So unless I do some really stupid stuff, this should be smooth sailing. Nice. Unfortunately, I didn't get the first service ace, so we can't really get a clean sheet here of 8 service aces and 8 return winners. But there's a bit of an weird thing with the AI, where they are, for some reason, much more likely to return the first serve than anything else. That little star indicator that you just saw there was basically the indication that it's a high ball approaching, and about there, if you stand in that star indicator and you press A and B at the same time, you return it as a smash ball, which is a lot faster and really hard to return unless the opponent is really ready for it. So 7-7, still pretty good. But yeah, for some reason the AI just really likes to be able to return the first serve, so whenever we score those, it's pretty big. Alright, our last match in juniors class coming up now with rank 1 Chris. Should generally be smooth sailing though as well. It's really just the first two matches that are tough in juniors because you just don't have the stats yet to score service aces and return winners reliably. Okay. I say that and Chris does that. But yeah, most of the speedrun will basically just be figuring out how to get return winners as best as possible for each match. And when you don't hit service aces or return winners, just basically outplay the AI. And there's several ways you can do that. Chris is being very annoying right now. Okay, you just randomly returned that one. Yeah, the AI can be a bit unpredictable. There's definitely some randomness to it. There we go. What I like to do most of the time, just like alternate between which side I shoot the ball into. But right there, Chris was countering that pretty perfectly, so I just at one shot sent it to the side that I already played it to. Just always got to figure out where you can hit the AI at a weak point. And that's the nice thing about the normal difficulty. Normal hits that balance pretty well between like figure out how to score service aces and return winners and also outplay the AI, because in easy difficulty it's basically just like hits service aces and return winners, and if you don't, which is very rare, then you have to like maybe outplay the AI just a little. And in technical it becomes a lot more of outplaying the AI, so normal is basically the middle grounds. So we've beat rank 1 from juniors, so now we've graduated from juniors and we can now play in seniors class. But before we do that, we're going to take a little detour here to the power shot machines, which are just brand new inventions by the Academy to teach the players super special shots. If you've played Mario Tennis games before, you'll know what's happening. But yeah, you can learn them by leveling up your power shot stats, and over the course of the game, more machines unlock. So this is the first machine that unlocks the treadmill. This is mandatory to do, so we're just going to be sitting here and pressing B for a while, and also A to jump every now and again. The pattern at which the bananas come is also very set, so it's always the same. If I could have bothered to learn it, I could have just done this blindfolded for the meme, but yeah. Had a few other runs to worry about as well. Maybe next time. This is also essentially an auto-scroller, no way to speed this up, so yeah. So now we have learned a defensive power shot, the running save. We technically don't need it, but it's nice to have, so you can have both an offensive power shot and a defensive power shot. Offensive power shots obviously help you score points, but even if the enemy returns them, you can still basically inflict some nasty side effects on them, like knocking them back, they lose control for a bit. And defensive power shots are obviously made to save shots that would usually be a pointer for the opponent. So now that we've done that, everyone's back to the seniors court, so now we can start with making our way through the senior ranks. We're going to be starting with Gary over here. Another thing I haven't talked about yet is the court properties. So Each class has a different court, and the courts actually have different properties as well. So the juniors class played on a hard clay court, which has regular ball speed and high ball bounce. The seniors play on a sand court, though, which has low ball speed and low ball bounce, which can be particularly annoying to score, especially against opponents that are speedy. Gary over here is a power type, so it shouldn't matter too much. Nice. Can I get a 4th return winner, please? I don't need it, but it would be cool. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, that's barely enough for 2 level ups, so now I gotta deviate from my usual route. So you can get 2 level ups here. Actually, the 4th return winner may have mattered there. Funnily enough, I said it doesn't really, I don't need it, but hey, won't complain about that extra level. So that obviously will help us with the matches later on, now that we're ahead of the expected route. It doesn't make a huge difference, but obviously it's nice to have. Alright, rank 3 Kyoko. She's a bit of an oddball. She has the tendency to have some really weird returns and really weird behavior at times. Her AI just likes to get funky, I guess. That's a awfully strong return there. That's exactly the kind of stuff I mean. Oh my god. Alright. Kyoko means business. Yeah, the reason this like step close to the service line works is because it gives our opponents less time to react, which basically is an equalizer to the lack of power stat that we have at the moment. But later down the line, we won't have to do this anymore. It's a bit annoying. That was a very nice second set. Yeah, it's just barely not enough, so now I gotta do this. Oh wait, I looked at the wrong place in my notes. Okay, my stats are a bit funked up now. This could get interesting. Well, let's see how we'll handle this. Alright, so up next is rank 2 Roy. He's going to be the first opponent that we play that actually has power shots. So up until now, no one we played knew power shots. Roy knows some, though. They're very basic ones, but still something to watch out for. Hopefully we don't get to see them, though. Nice.
Receiver, second set. 15 love. 30 love. 40 love. Gain point. Gain.
Going pretty well.
Gain court. Love 15. Love 30.
I wonder if I get enough EXP from this, I could get 3 levels instead of 2. Usually you expect 2 levels from Roy. Alright, so that right there was his offensive power shot. I just countered it with a defensive power shot because it negates the negative side effect. I actually do get 3 levels, just barely. Okay, hold on, how am I gonna do this? Okay. Maybe this works. My stats are probably completely out of whack right now. Whatever. I guess it could make the run a little more interesting. I hear an oh no from behind the tech desk. It'll be fine, I promise. Surely nothing can go so terribly wrong. It truly has never happened before.
Surely.
It's fine. Alright, so up next is rank 1 of seniors, Emmy. She's a speed type, which is particularly annoying on the low speed sand court. She could throw me for some nasty loops here. He's generally one of the hardest matches in the run. And we're actually going to be employing a different strategy for returns here. Because like right around here is when that step up to the service line is no longer really effective. Like already the last 2 matches, Kyoko and Roy, a different strategy would have worked somewhat similarly well. But the close step is still the best strat for that. So it's around here where we start switching up the strategy again. So that's Emmy's offensive power shot, the curveball. That makes my it basically spins my character out of control, and I can't really control him well for a bit. So right here we just stand still, and that just gives us a bit more time to charge up the power on our shot, which now that we have stats is a better way to score. This is still all right. Well, as soon as I say that, Emmy scores. Now it's no longer all right. Oof. Another thing I'm going to be doing from here on out as well is a taunt whenever the opponent is serving. So you see my little character at the bottom wave there. That's the taunt. What that does is it reduces the power shot gauge of my opponent just a little. So whenever I can, I want to do that. And when the opponent is serving, it's just the perfect time to do so. It delays basically the next incoming power shot by just a little. That's barely 2 levels. Jesus, what are my stats right now? I don't know. It's fine. So that was our last match on the seniors. Now we have graduated from that, so now we can go to the top class of the Royal Tennis Academy, which is the varsity class. I think we've got some time for some shout-outs here, so host, take it away. We've got a long cutscene ahead of us.
Surely, no problem. I would like to mention once again that we have some cool prizes you can win. We have 3 plushies and 1 painting. We have a Pikmin plushie, a Rayman plushie, a Pokemon plushie, and a Rayman painting. All 4 of these prizes go for a minimum €25 donation. That can also be cumulative. So if you feel the need of donating 5 times 5 euros, then that is totally what you can do. And all of these prizes have been provided to us by Renabo. So thank you very much for sponsoring us with the prizes. Renabo is a plush maker and a game developer as well. And they are currently working on Floating Wonderland, which is a retro-style 2D puzzle platformer that uses gravity to solve puzzles as you progress through several different stages. And if you've been watching BSG for a little while, you might have seen their trailer a few times during the intermission. It definitely looks like a very interesting game. So please check it out, and thanks again, Renabo, for sponsoring the prizes that you can win for 25 euro donation.
Plushies are super adorable.
Yeah. The Pikmin plushie has received quite a little bit of love around here in the venue.
I think it's most people's favorite around here. White Pikmin happy.
Yes, indeed. So please get your donations in for that. And back to you, sir.
We still got some time, so if you've got some more things to talk about.
Sure, I can. For example, let me see. I would like to thank, or we would like to thank ESA for supporting our event and for allowing us to stream on their channel. If you maybe noticed, you're currently watching on the ESA Marathon channel. So if you haven't done so, please hit that follow button, because ESA is hosting several different events, including BSG, the British UKSG, and the International Hackathon on their channel as well. So if you're looking for awesome speedrun content, ESA provides that in spades.
There's plenty to go around.
Yes. And yeah, once again, thanks for ESA for letting us stream our event on your channel. It's good times. Good events.
So yeah, we're now on the varsity court, and we're just going around having an introduction round. Basically, all the players just introducing themselves right now. Particularly the blue hair guy with the glasses you want to keep in mind. That's Alroy. That's rank 1. He's the captain of the varsity group. And he's therefore the best tennis player the Royal Tennis Academy has to offer right now. We're going to be seeing him again. But more on that later. Yeah, it's a really long cutscene, unfortunately. This game has a few of them. That's just the way it goes with an RPG. A little bit more talking. Now the coach introduces himself, and he's telling us, you know, he wants to be impressed by us, so we need to learn some strong power shots, get a ranking, and maybe then he'll be convinced that we're actually good. We're not going to do the power shot learning part, but we're absolutely going to rank up, and fast. So first up is Paula, rank 4. I'm going to do a slight variation of my return strat that we've seen earlier, so I've already said that the close step to the service line is not going to work that well anymore. With Paula, actually, there's a slight variation that I can do that works the best, weirdly enough. You might notice the ball speed is very high, very much higher now. The varsity court actually has the highest ball speed of all courts, so we're going to see some tennis balls flying around at rapid speeds here. So I'm going to do a very, very slight step up. You might not even be able to tell on stream. I just basically tap the D-pad down a little just to be ever so slightly closer, and that actually makes quite the difference. As you see, I just got 4 return winners. That's actually not expected. That was really good. But yeah, it's the most reliable strat. And even if it doesn't score me a return winner right away, usually Paula has to go for quite the dive there to even be able to return it, and that leaves her pretty vulnerable. Kind of like that. She's now forced in a corner of the court, and she has to sprint back to the middle. Or I can just shoot it at the directly opposite side. There's a few ways you can trick the AI like that. Okay. Nothing that I'll have to keep in mind here is I don't actually have to beat all the players here in varsity. It's enough to get rank 2 in singles to qualify for the Island Open, which is still our goal here because we still want to know who these masked players were. So it's an optional match against Elroy, the captain, that I'll get the prompt for after beating rank 2, and I definitely have to keep in mind to press no there, because otherwise I'm gonna have to do an extra match with just like 3 minutes. Now that would be awful. I've definitely never done that in a run before. Anyways, Tori is another one that's oh god, I pressed the button way too early. So when you press A or B for the first time, when the opponent has returned the ball, you start basically charging up a shot, and yeah. This is something. Tori can be another pretty tricky opponent. Her AI also, like Kyoko, gets to be a little funky. Generally around this point in the run where it's going to get harder to score service aces and easier to score return winners. At the start of the run it was the other way around. Oh my god. That's a disgusting return. That was not in time. When you're dashing like that, you can trigger your power shots, so as much as I was spamming to hit the defensive power shot there. Oh, God. Tori, please cooperate. You're trying to go fast. She's not having any of it. All right. At least the return games were going smoothly. All right, so that's rank 3 acquired. Only one more match here to go, unless I'm stupid, like I said. And Whisker should be the easiest of the three we're fighting here. He can be a little dangerous, though, because he is a power-type player. And particularly with the very high ball speed that the varsity court has to offer, he can make for some nasty shots if we give him the freedom to do so. So how about we don't give him the freedom to do so? I actually scored the first serve there. That's nice. Like I said, that's pretty rare because the AI has a tendency to return the first serve more than any other, for some strange reason. But it's completely random, so no way to influence that. Should get relatively close to a clean sheet here, though. Nice. There's also some manipulation you can do with the power shot behavior of the AI. For example, if the ball is way out of reach and the opponent has a power shot ready, most of the time they will trigger their defensive power shot, obviously. But if the AI thinks they can still reach it, but it's still going to be barely out of reach, they won't use their defensive power shot. So whenever that's the case, I'm going to try and score a point, but not have it be too obvious of a point, so the AI kind of thinks they can still reach it. All right, and that is Whisker done. And now, please select the correct option. No, 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 I do not want to match against Elroy. Thank you. Okay, So that yes and no prompt, yeah, very important. Thank you. Took me a lot of skill to press the B button there instead of the A button. That's a 3-minute time loss if it happens, and it's pretty stupid. Like I said, totally never done that in a run before. I would never. Anyways, now we got another very long cutscene. That just tends to be the case with like once you finish a class, you just get a really, really long cutscene. So basically, rank 1 and rank 2 will now be sent off to the Island Open, which would be Elroy, rank 1, and me, rank 2, because I just beat Whisker and took rank 2 from him. So yeah, everybody's just basically saying their goodbyes here. We're going to be ready to head off to the Island Open tournament in just a bit. And while all of that is going on, I see the host already looking at me, so he knows what's coming. Do us the honors.
Yeah, when you said another very long cutscene, I was already mentally preparing myself. So, friends, if you just turned in, you're currently watching BSG Annual 2022. We are raising money for Mind, and so far we have raised 5,133 euros. So thank you very much for that. If you don't know what Mind is the nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issue and to support everyone who is dealing with mental issue themselves or within their family. And all of your donations will go towards the Mind directly. And if you want to know a little bit more, did you know that in every region of the world, mental disorders surpass 10% of the population? And governments seem to lack momentum in reducing the burden of mental health problems, as only 55% have mental health awareness and only 8% have suicide prevention plans, which is not a lot. And organizations like Mind help raise the awareness that these issues exist, and they help get one step closer to a world where everyone can get the help that they need.
And deserve.
And deserve. Very correct, good sir. And yeah, we're raising money, as I already mentioned. And whenever you can find the link to donate in below the stream or in the chat by typing !donate. The minimum amount you can donate is 3 euros, and whenever you are on the donation page, there's a lot of cool bid wars still left that you can choose to spend your money on. For example, the next game, Lost Kingdom, has still the deck name incentive, or bid war I should say rather, for a 8-character max name, and the current winner is still Ananas with just a single euro. So with your minimum donation of 3 euros, you can decide what the deck name should be. As I mentioned, 8-character maximum. So that sounds pretty easy, money-wise, to decide whatever you want that to be. Or the next game, Nobelia, any percent. We have an incentive there to upgrade the any percent to a 100% run. That is sitting at a total goal of 100 euros, and we're currently sitting there on the 33 euros. So we're 64 euros away from reaching that one, and getting that would be most amazing. I'm sure, especially the runner Grumpmeister will be very fond of getting the category upgrade to 100%, I'm sure.
I mean, it's more content.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And we also have more awesome donations, incentives, I mean, that all of which you can find also on the donation page, which is bsgmarathon.com/donate. So please get your donations in and check out all the awesome incentives that we still have left for the marathon, because there's still a few cool ones.
Yeah. All right, so to explain the Island Open a little, basically the best tennis players of 4 schools come together and duke it out in a single elimination tournament. There's going to be 12 players, so 3 from each school actually, which we don't know yet, but basically I guess they just upgraded the size, so we didn't know it at first, but The third rank actually gets to come along as well, so we didn't really need to beat Whisker, but the game doesn't tell us that until now. So Whisker's actually in this tournament as well, along with Elroy and us, to represent the Royal Tennis Academy. So yeah, each school sends in 3 players, so we have 12 players in total duking it out in a single elimination bracket, which means 4 players get a bye, which are just like the top players from last year, basically. Elroy is among them. We don't have that luxury because we are a new face. So we have to play 4 matches to win the Island Open. So we're now going to be heading over to the main entrance. We're going to get a quick peek at the tournament bracket here. We're going to be in the bottom right corner. And Whisker now reveals to us that he's actually in the tournament as well. We're going to just have a little chat with him here, talking about what our chances look like, what our opponents will be. And we're just all like, wow, that's a lot of experienced players. Whisker doesn't really think he stands a chance. And then Tori over here comes in like, why are you beating yourself down like that? Whisker having a bit of a short temper though. He's gonna get a bit mad here, especially when Elroy taunts him here. Elroy being a very confident one, obviously, with already having a bit of experience and being one of the top players in the previous year. He was actually 2nd place in the tournament last time, so he's determined to actually get 1st this year. Just a little more chatting here until we actually get to play our first match of the tournament. So our first matchup is going to be against Barb. I forgot what the school she's from is called. I know besides the Royal Tennis Academy, there's also Union and Factory, but I keep forgetting the last one. But that's the school that Barb is from. She's not exactly the best player there, so I think she would probably be rank 3. It's not exactly revealed to us, but considering that the game tends to hype up the other 2 players from that school quite a bit, because the rank 1 player was actually the champion last year. So Barb would probably be the equivalent of the rank 3 player from that school. So, new part of the game, new chord. We now have the grass chord with high ball speed and low ball bounce. At this point, it doesn't really make too much of a difference anymore. So, we can just keep playing the way we usually would play. Another little change that's going to happen now is, before it was a 3-set game, so best of 3, we'd have to win 2 sets. Now it's a best of 5, so we have to win 3 sets. Also, this game's music is an absolute bop. Usually we don't get to hear it that much anymore because game point and set point gives us different tunes, so the loop starts anew. But the soundtrack is actually quite the banger. I love it. Especially the Island Open music. Oops, moved in the wrong way. A pretty decent bar. Should be, yeah, it's easily 2 levels. Okay, so that was our first match. We now move on. And our next match is going to be against Sass from Factory. He can be quite a tricky one. Just gonna have to head back to our school's cottage here. And then not save, because that wastes time. Oh, got stuck on the attendee there. We've got some time for a donation. I see we have one pending, so take it away.
Yes, we indeed have. We got 20 euros from Dan Kayur, I believe, with the comment, "It's your favorite Pokemon in German." And that is referring to the incentive I mentioned earlier, because they choose to spend that 20 on, where is it? On, yes, everybody's favorite German Pokemon, Seemops. So thank you very much for that 20 euro donation. And yeah, with that, Seemops is currently in the lead for the deck name in Lost Kingdom, which is the next game.
That's the German name for Spheal. Alright, Sass can be a bit of a tricky player as well, specifically because of his offensive power shot, the flying shot. It is an offensive power shot, but it has some backwards reach due to his animation, so if he can barely not reach one... Oh wow, he just shot that straight over me. I can't believe you would do this. But yeah, because of its animation, it actually has some backwards reach and can sometimes act as a bit of a defensive power shot as well. Hopefully we don't get to see that, because that's really annoying. Even more of a reason to just keep taunting and end ball exchanges very fast. Okay, good. That would have been a prime opportunity there for Sass to show off the little meme that is the defensive flying shot. Kind of afraid of that one, but worked out. How did he not go for his defensive power shot there? Sometimes the AI just derps completely and just decides not to do anything about me scoring a point. I'm not complaining, though. Very nice. Oh, that's 3 level ups, okay. Guess I'm just gonna freestyle my stat distribution a little again. And if you're seeing the bracket right now, our next opponent is actually going to be Elroy. There's no rule against students from the same school playing against each other, so even though we skipped out on playing Elroy for the rank 1 match in varsity, we now have to face him regardless of that choice. And Elroy is a pretty tricky player. He's not rank 1 for nothing. He's an all-around player, so he doesn't really have any specific weaknesses. He's got some really nasty power shots up his sleeve, so yeah, this tends to be a tricky match. Let's see how it goes. Nice. Oof, that was just barely enough. Ooh. Works out. So yeah, even though I have a general idea of how to tackle most of these opponents, a lot of it still comes down to just reacting to what the AI does and then countering that accordingly. Especially in the later matches where, you know, the AI tends to be better as well. Well, I'm gonna have to tank a Blizzard shot here. Once again, I'm gonna use my defensive power shot to mitigate the negative side effect. Because Blizzard shot in particular is a really annoying one. On top of having quite the strong knockback, it also freezes me in place for a bit, so we get knocked back, and after that knockback we cannot move immediately, so very hard to recover from that. Right, one last game. Relatively good Elroy, though. Ooh. Okay, worked out. Nice. All right, we're on to the finals of the Island Open now, with Elroy defeated. So now there's only one match left. Obviously, most people here would have expected the finalists from last year, which would be a... I forgot the name of the other player, but basically Elroy and the other dude from that other school that I also forgot the name of. To be the final, but I ended up triumphing over Elroy. And another new player, actually, which is Willie from Factory, ended up triumphing over the champ of last year. So, against all odds, it's actually a final of two newcomers. So yeah, this is going to be our last match of the Island Open. This little fella here, called Willie. And he is very annoying to deal with. He's a trickster. His balls have some absolutely absurd spin to them. So they will fly some absolutely unrealistic curves. And I'll have to keep that in mind throughout the match as well. So not only do I have to react to his AI, I also have to read the spin and be ready for that. And his power shots are also very annoying, so this is just one of the most obnoxious opponents in the game. Not necessarily one of the hardest, but it can go south pretty easy. Yeah. See those curves? Let's see how this goes. I'm actually also going to start employing spin returns here as well, because while I don't have my spin stat leveled quite a bit, they still add a little bit of extra curve to it, which can make the difference in a few scenarios. And what spin is better depends on like what hand you're being played at, so that's another element that I have to react to. Especially in the later stage of the speedrun, it becomes super reactive and you have to like make decisions on the fly. Oof. Nice. Couldn't see the landing point there, so I had to just guess where it had to be. Nice. Very good ending to the match there. All right, and that's the end of Island Open. We're not done with the game yet, though. We're going to have quite a long cutscene coming up here. But first, it's time to celebrate our victory. I see Host already getting ready. He's used to this now. So yeah, we now have won the Island Open. So now it's up to our head coach to actually own up to his promise and reveal to us who these masked players are. But before that, celebration. So, Host, for the last time in this run, take it away. What do you have to tell us?
Thank you, good sir. So just a little fun fact here. We have like a Google Doc with all the things we can read. And because the cutscenes of this game have been so lengthy, I'm sort of running out of things to say here.
I am so sorry.
Well, I mean, it's not your fault. But yeah, hey everybody. Just thanks for watching. That can be said, right? Every now and then for everybody tuning in right now. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying BSG. If you are enjoying BSG, did you know that BSG also has their own Twitter account, which you can follow for updates and get behind the scenes look? For example, we've been posting a lot of very cool on-site pictures because some people here are running around with cameras and making very, very good looking pictures from like behind the scenes and awesome stuff that is happening. So if you want to check us out on Twitter, that would be twitter.com/BSG Marathon. We also, if you didn't know, all of our runs that we are doing here at this event or on all of our previous events will get uploaded to YouTube. So if you ever happened to wanting to watch a run that happened, but you sadly missed it because of whatever reason, you might be able or will be able to catch all the runs you missed on our YouTube channel, which is going to be youtube.com/BSG Marathon once again. And BSG also has their own Twitch channel, which we are currently also streaming to next to the ESA channel, which you can also follow because every now and then we are hosting some smaller speedrun community events over there. For example, the Mac-Rayathon, which would be twitch.tv/BSG_marathon. Yeah, we got yeah, as you can see, BSG is everywhere. So we got some cool stuff. If you're interested in BSG, you know where to follow us. I think there's also some chat commands for the things that I just mentioned. Don't know them from the top of my head, but maybe a mod or something knows them.
I'm sure a chat mod will know them. Alright, so yeah, hey, Mario shows up only like an hour into the run. So, in fact, the masked players that we didn't quite meet at the start, but that were introduced to us at the start, are actually Mario and his gang. And now that we are the champions of the Island Open, not only do we get the honor to meet Mario and his friends, we actually get to play tennis against them too. So, yeah, he's a legendary tennis player. And now he invites us to the Mushroom Kingdom, to another little tournament. So off we go and play our last few matches of the run. Just a little bit of cutscene still coming up here. So the Peach tournament will function very similar to the Island Open. It's going to be a single elimination bracket-style tournament. So there's going to be 6 players, because there's 6 players, 6 playable characters from the Mario universe here, which are Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Bowser, Waluigi, and Peach. Right. But yeah, obviously one of them will not be in the tournament because if it's 6 players and I'm supposed to be playing here, one of them will not be joining. And I forget which one it is. I think it's Luigi that skips on this tournament. And I guess we can see by just having a quick peek at the bracket in just a bit. As for us, we'll be playing Peach, Bowser, and Mario. The bracket always goes the same, so I already know which matches I'll have ahead of time. Would kind of be awesome if those were randomized. Could you imagine that? Would make this last bit of the run really interesting. Same for Island Open, actually. I guess they want to have that showdown with Elroy and then also have to play the newer players, so I guess those could be set, but maybe the ones before that could be randomized. Oh well, the game is already out for like almost 20 years at this point, so it's a bit late to make suggestions like that. Yeah, it's Luigi that skips on this. Alright, so first match is going to be against Peach. She is going to be generally one of the harder matches. Definitely the hardest match in the Peach tournament. She's got some nasty tricks up her sleeve. Similar to the Island Open, this is a best of 5, so I have to win 3 sets to win the match. Oh my god. Thank you. Peach is notoriously difficult to score return winners against, so we're going to see barely none here. Barely any, I wanted to say. Clearly it's not going to be none because I already scored one. They are definitely not as common as in other matches. The next 2 matches will go a lot more smoothly. So this is the last big hurdle in the run. Yeah, wow, even from that distance she does it. So the bad thing about Peach's defensive shot is that she returns it as a lob shot, which is a high ball, so that's kind of not good when we're standing close to the net, but there's not really much I can do about it. So unfortunately I had to just give that point to her. Alright, that was okay. Yep, okay. One match down, 2 to go. Next up is Bowser, a power type. So against Peach, I still use the same return strategy that I used against Willy, which is just use spin returns. At this point in the match, at this point in the run, it doesn't really matter that much anymore, so I will just like employ a bit of a mix of both a non-spin returns and also spin returns, just depending on the situation. Bowser's being a bit annoying right now. Not a big fan. Not gonna lie. Oh god. Okay, that worked out. Yeah. Stop fighting Bowser, you're just delaying the inevitable. More game. Right. All right, on to our last match of the run, which is going to be the one, the only Mario, Jumpman Mario himself. So you'd think Mario, he'll obviously be the hardest match of the game. Actually, it's quite the opposite. He's one of the easier matches. Especially in the Peach tournament, he's the easiest. If I could actually hit good services, though, that would be even more obvious. But yeah, I'm expecting it close to 12 return winners here at least. If I do my returns right, I should get easy return winners. Well, now I look pretty stupid. Oh my god. I swear I know how to play this game. That's fine. Still a good run. Definitely below average, but part of that might just be because my stats are a little out of whack. All right, last few exchanges of the match. Time will be coming up somewhat shortly. It will be once I do the last input on the stat distribution screen after the match with Mario. So in about 20-ish seconds from now, hopefully. All right, get ready on time. Time. Nice. Seeing that correctly, there's a 1:14.27. Fun fact, that is actually a world record. The only reason for that being, though, because the way Mario Tennis Power Tour handles the leaderboards is that it splits between the PAL versions and the Japanese versions, and I mainly speedrun on the Japanese version, so the actual world record, if you combine all the two leaderboards, is like a 112 something. But yeah, for US and PAL, that's world record, so hey, I'm not complaining. That's a pretty decent run, at least. All right. Yeah, not much to say besides that. It was a pleasure running here. It was my last run of the event, unfortunately, but there's still plenty of awesome runs coming up next, especially the next one, which will be by my good pal Double Double, who is already getting ready behind me. Lost Kingdoms. Maybe not the most known GameCube game, but it's a very fun and interesting one, so get ready for some shenanigans on that one. That's going to be it from me. My name's Siver. It was a pleasure being here, so I'll hand it back to the tech desk now. So thank you for having me, and have the great rest of the event.
Wow, you basically said every single thing that I'm supposed to say. So, well, first of all, congrats on the world record. That's pretty poggies, some would say. Yeah, thanks for the awesome run. And yeah, as mentioned, coming up next, we've got Double Double with Lost Kingdom. Remember, we still got the incentive, so that is happening soon. So if you still want to snipe the name, that's going to be 21 euros. Otherwise, it's going to be Z-Mobs. So yeah, with that, I'll head you guys into a quick intermission. And when we're back, we get to see the game I just mentioned. So stay tuned, everybody.